got somebody. I'm lonely.
Rock history is filled with bands that change the world, but sometimes the stars align and legends from different corners come together to create something truly unforgettable. These supergroups weren't just side projects, they were seismic events that shook the foundations of music. Today we're counting down 10 iconic groups formed by rock legends, bands that proved when titans unite, magic happens. And stick around till the end, because our final entry is the pioneering group that launched not one, not two, but three of the greatest guitarists of the 20th century. 10th, Blind Faith. When Eric Clapton, Ginger Baker, and Steve Winwood joined forces in 1969, the world held its breath. Blind Faith was rock's first true supergroup, their debut at Hyde Park drawing 100,000 fans eager to witness history. With Rick Gretsch rounding out the lineup, the band's only album delivered instant classics like Can't Find My Way Home and Presence of the Lord. Despite their chemistry, Blind Faith was short-lived. Just one album and a handful of legendary performances before egos and expectations pulled them apart. But their brief existence left a mark, showing the world what could happen when rock's brightest stars collided.
I'm lonely.
9. The Dirty Mac. In 1968, John Lennon wanted to break out of the Beatles mold for a night. The result? The Dirty Mac, a one-off supergroup featuring Lennon, Eric Clapton, Keith Richards, and Mitch Mitchell. Their only performance, captured for the Rolling Stones Rock and Roll Circus, is pure rock alchemy.
My soul feels so suicide.
They also jammed on Whole Lotta Yoko, with Yoko Ono and violinist Avery Gitlis, pushing the boundaries of rock into avant-garde territory. Though the Dirty Mac existed for just one night, their chemistry and audacity became the stuff of legend.
Got somebody.
8. Traveling Wilburys. If there's a supergroup that truly lived up to the name, it's the Traveling Wilburys. Formed in 1988 almost by accident, this band united 5 of rock's most beloved icons: George Harrison, Bob Dylan, Tom Petty, Roy Orbison, and Jeff Lynne. Their debut single, Handle with Care, was so strong, it demanded a full album.
It hurts like never before.
The Wilburys' chemistry was infectious. Each member brought their unique voice, but the camaraderie and mutual respect shined through. Their debut album revitalized careers and won a Grammy, while tracks like End of the Line and Tweeter and the Monkey Man became instant classics. 7. Cream. Before Blind Faith, there was Cream, the original power trio supergroup. Eric Clapton, Jack Bruce, and Ginger Baker fused blues, jazz, and psychedelic rock, creating a sound that defined a generation. Their improvisational jams and explosive live shows set a new standard for musicianship. Though they lasted just a few years, Cream's influence is immeasurable. Songs like Crossroads and Badge are still studied by aspiring rockers everywhere.
So badly I must cry out loud.
6. Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. When David Crosby, Stephen Stills, and Graham Nash first sang together, their harmonies were so tight it seemed supernatural. Add Neil Young's raw edge, and you had a group that could move from folk to hard rock with ease. Their debut at Woodstock and the album Deja Vu became touchstones of the era.
Tin soldiers and Nixon come. We're finally on our own.
CSNY's blend of political activism and musical innovation inspired a generation to believe that music could change the world. 5. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Progressive rock reached new heights when Keith Emerson, Greg Lake, and Carl Palmer joined forces. Emerson, Lake and Palmer's blend of classical virtuosity and rock spectacle made them arena giants in the 1970s. Their self-titled debut and albums like Brain Salad Surgery redefined what a rock band could achieve. ELP's live shows were legendary, full of pyrotechnics, spinning pianos, and jaw-dropping musicianship. 4. Them Crooked Vultures. When Dave Grohl, Josh Homme, and Led Zeppelin's John Paul Jones announced a band together, expectations soared. Them Crooked Vultures delivered with a sound that was equal parts heavy, funky, and unpredictable. Their self-titled album in 2009 was a modern supergroup triumph. The trio's chemistry was undeniable. Grohl's thunderous drumming, Holmes' riffs, and Jones's legendary musicianship created a sound both fresh and rooted in rock tradition. Third Temple of the Dog. Born out of tragedy and friendship, Temple of the Dog united members of Soundgarden and Pearl Jam to honor the late Andrew Wood. Chris Cornell's soaring vocals and Eddie Vedder's emotional delivery on Hunger Strike made the band's only album a grunge classic. Though their time together was brief, Temple of the Dog's music captured the spirit of the early 90s Seattle scene and introduced the world to Vedder's unmistakable voice. 2. The Power Station. In the mid-'80s, Duran Duran's John and Andy Taylor joined forces with Robert Palmer and Chic's Tony Thompson to form the Power Station. Their debut album was a funk rock juggernaut, with hits like Some Like It Hot and a cover of Get It On, Bang a Gong. The band's mix of pop, rock, and funk was ahead of its time, and their energetic performances brought a new swagger to the supergroup concept. 1. The Yardbirds. And now, for the group that was the ultimate cradle of guitar gods, the Yardbirds. Formed in London in 1963, the Yardbirds are legendary, not just for their own string of hits, but for launching the careers of Eric Clapton, Jeff Beck, and Jimmy Page, 3 of the greatest guitarists in rock history. The Yardbirds started as a blues-based band, but quickly became pioneers of psychedelic rock, hard rock, and even proto-heavy metal. With Clapton, they delivered pure blues power. When Jeff Beck joined, the band exploded into new territory, experimenting with feedback, fuzz, and eastern scales on tracks like Heart Full of Soul and Over Under Sideways Down. Beck's innovative style paved the way for psychedelic and hard rock. Then came Jimmy Page, whose tenure saw the band turn heavier and more experimental, culminating in the legendary Stroll On scene in the film Blow Up, and the early versions of Dazed and Confused that would later become Led Zeppelin staples. The Yardbirds' fearless innovation and willingness to push the limits of the electric guitar created the blueprint for modern rock. Their influence is woven into the DNA of countless bands, and their alumni went on to define the sound of the next era. When it comes to supergroups, none had a greater impact on the future of rock than the Yardbirds. These bands didn't just make music, they made history. When rock legends unite, the result is more than the sum of its parts. It's a reminder that even icons never stop searching for new sounds, new friends, and new ways to shake the world. Which supergroup blew your mind? Did we miss your favorite? Drop your stories in the comments, and let's keep the spirit of collaboration alive.